What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lunchtablesports Podcast. Today's episode, we're going to be going over a lot of different stuff. College football playoffs, Michigan, number two. Michigan takes on TCU, which should be a pretty good game. And then the most third base way to get into the college football playoff of all time. Ryan Day strikes from third base again. Utah beats USC in the Pac-12 championship game, which got in Ohio State. That's just the most third base way to get in the college football playoffs I have ever seen. They did not earn that.
Yeah, I like that little analogy there. You know what though? I actually don't mind it because how crazy would it be to see a Michigan Ohio State national championship?
Yeah,
That
I
would
don't
be
know. I
crazy.
think they're gonna get smoked by Georgia. I think this whole team's life
Yeah.
life energy. I mean, I could see in some small sliver of a chance that they upset Georgia, but I just think that this team is I don't know. I don't think they're mentally there after losing to Michigan. Smith and Jigba just announced he was supposed to come back. He just said he was going to declare for the draft and not play in the semifinal game. So that's definitely you got your one of your best offensive players saying he's not going to come back and he's going to sit out. That's another blow. But yeah, that Utah game really surprised me. I thought the roles might be reversed.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think we both picked USC to win that game in our last video. So yeah, it definitely surprised me. Uh I think Caleb Williams still played pretty well. I think that USC team, I'm not sure it really matters for them. I don't think. I mean, obviously, it would have been good to get into to the semifinals, but I think whoever was in that four seed was going to get kind of smacked around by Georgia a little bit. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I didn't pay too much attention to that game, but I was surprised to see USC lost.
Yeah. Next game, kind of want to talk about here is the Big 12 championship game. Kansas State upset TCU in overtime. That was probably the most entertaining game of the day. Um, Kansas State went off a game-winning field goal. Um, I thought TCU, they even though they lost, they did really play some good football. Max Duggan, quarterback for TCU, is just so tough. Just watching the game, he was taking hits all over, and he was limping down the field. He could barely make throws, but he was making them. I mean, in the end, it just came down to not being able to convert in the red zone. Um, and that goal line stand by Kansas State. Um, but yeah, Michigan's definitely not going to be getting an easy cupcake game. They're gonna have to they're gonna have to play lights out against TCU if they want to win. None of those mental errors. It was kind of a slow start to Purdue. I know we're a second half team and all that stuff, but you can't just go to the Fiesta Bowl not expecting to play a physical TCU team. So in the end, that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think this TCU team is very dangerous. I think they play hard every week, and we saw that against Kansas State, even in a loss. Like you said, they played really hard, and their quarterback obviously was battling to the very end. So just like you said, I think Michigan's gonna really have to battle in this one. I don't think they've really played a team like this all year. That's gonna really challenge them. I guess I mean I know they played Ohio State, but I think this TCU team is very physical. They work hard. I mean, I don't know. I want Michigan to win, obviously, but this is gonna be a very good game. I think it's gonna go down to the wire. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, for sure. Next game, kind of big game that we put predictions on was that LSU Georgia game. That was just that was a statement game by Georgia. They won 50-30. They heard everyone kind of saying, "Oh, Michigan might get that one seed now." They just had to remind everyone who they were. I mean, it was pure dominance. Stenson Bennett was throwing dimes, 25 years old, still in college football, slinging it. But yeah, pure dominance on both sides of the ball for Georgia. I just don't know really if there's a team who can beat Georgia this year.
Yeah, no, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think this was a domination, and I think LSU was embarrassed a little bit, to be honest. Just like you said, there's some people talking like maybe LSU's gonna upset them here, sneak one out, but like you said, Georgia. Georgia completely dominated them in both sides of the field. And yeah, I think uh, hopefully Michigan wins, and I think Georgia will win. I don't know. I don't think it'll be a better game than it was last year for Michigan Georgia, but we'll have to see. This Georgia team is very, very good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And then the final game, I guess we didn't really talk too much about the Purdue Michigan game, so we can talk about that a little bit. Michigan won, and by the box score, you think it would be a blowout, but it actually wasn't. For most of the game, for the first half, Michigan was only winning 14-13, I believe, and Michigan's defense really struggled with Purdue's offense. You know, they were just giving them a lot. I think they're playing a little too much zone there in the first half. Um, but their red zone defense is very encouraging. I think Purdue only scored once, I think, in the red zone. Um, Other than that, they just held them all to field goals. But their red zone defense is just because they'll run a zone defense, but they got guys all around the field. And what Purdue is taking advantage of, and what Ohio State did a really good job of in the first half, is just finding guys in those holes. But once it comes into the red zone and in that tight zone, it's just Michigan's defense. Just the zones shrink for the offense because they're so close to the end zone, and then that 1 second the quarterback holds onto the ball allows the defensive line to get there, force some pressures. So Michigan's red zone defense is probably the best in the country. But I just think there's just some stuff I want to see improved on leading up to it. Maybe some more man coverages. But Michigan's offense still played great. McCarthy looks way more confident ever since that Ohio State game. Donovan Edwards is picking up where Corum left off again. So super encouraging to see offensive wise.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with you. But in my opinion, I'm not really too worried about that game. I think coming off a win against Ohio State, I think if those players are being honest, they probably weren't too worried about that game and didn't prepare for it as much as they did the last week, and that's a big deal for Michigan beating Ohio State back to back years. So I think their focus was the college football playoffs, and now that they're past that Purdue game, I think they can worry about that. So in my opinion, I'm not too worried about that Purdue game and how they looked, but I'm glad to see J.J. McCarthy still look good. Just like you said, that defense still battled, and yeah, so it was good to see. But I'm excited for them to now get ready to play TCU.
Yeah, and then the last kind of game is Clemson. Clemson blew out UNC in the ACC championship game from a very impressive debut by Cade Klubnik, the five-star freshman. DJ struggled early on, and immediately Dabo benched him. K came in and looked, and it's been like, where's this guy been all year long? Like, why you keep trying to play DJ? And then after this game, DJ ended up entering the transfer portal. The transfer portal this year is absolutely insane. I mean, pure insanity. There's guys like legitimate college football stars entering the portal just for more NIL money. And it's kind of the craziest ever been. You got guys like DJ Ugalele entering it. Devin Leary, quarterback for NC State, entered. Keaton Slovis entered for Pitt. Um, Obviously, the Cade McNamara news. I don't think we've talked about that. He committed to Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
That's another case where I just think it's a little shady going on. Totally glad for Cade. I'm glad he's getting another shot to prove himself. I got nothing but love for him. But to really, as a team captain, to announce you're transferring before the Big Ten championship and before the season's even over, I don't know. I got some question marks there. But yeah, nothing but love for him in the end. And then Eric All entered the transfer portal for Michigan. Michigan's top tight end a year ago. He got hurt this season, which sucks. I thought he was going to come back next season, but he entered the transfer portal and is throwing a ton of shade at Michigan, saying stuff isn't always what it seems like. People aren't always what they seem like. And then he's just got kind of getting roasted by the Michigan fans. It's like, I don't know, we're 13-0 this year, so can't be doing anything that bad. But what are your thoughts on the portal this year? Do you think think it needs to go away? You think it's a good addition? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, yeah. In my opinion, I think it's a good thing for college football. I think it brings some media to it. Obviously, there's already a lot, but I think it's kind of like it's like a free agency type thing, which I think is kind of cool. Obviously, I think it's a little excessive at sometimes, but I think overall it's a good thing for the sport and for college football just to see like if guys aren't getting an opportunity like Cade McNamara. I'm totally okay with him leaving. I agree with you what you said that he could have waited till the year was done just because with how the team's doing and they're getting ready for the college football playoffs coming up here. So I think like you said he could have waited maybe till the end of the year, but I think it's good for him. Just try to get an opportunity. I think going to Iowa, that's good. I think it'll be a good game next year. I think that'll be fun watching that. JJ versus Cade next year, Iowa versus Michigan. That'll be cool. So just like I said, it brings some more headlines to it, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got about college football. You got anything else you want to add on before we move on to maybe some Lions talk?
No, yeah, I could start that off. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. Maybe Lamar Jackson rumors to Detroit. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's a dream right there. I mean, the Lamar talk is definitely heating up. I think about a week or two ago, I'm not sure. Lamar was just out riding scooters in downtown Detroit, mid NFL season, and he's liking a bunch of tweets from the Lions on social media. After a lot of their wins, he's been liking their tweets, and especially Lamar's in a contract year, and the Ravens are kind of doing him dirty, not really having any talks with him about his contract. So there's a really good shot he gets traded in the offseason. And I honestly don't think you have to give up as much to get a quarterback like Lamar as you would in years past. Like how many first round picks the Browns gave up for Deshaun, or how many first round picks um um the Broncos gave up for Russell Wilson, because Lions would have the upper hand in that. Because Lamar can just say, I'm going to wait it out and go into free agency, and the Ravens don't get anything. So the Ravens are kind of pressured to trade for him. I think the Lions will have to give up a first round pick, but I think there's a good shot they could trade their later first round pick and still keep their top 5 pick, which is looking like from the Rams, and still have an addition of Will Anderson or Jalen Carter on that team, which would be absolutely insane. If you get Lamar Jackson and Will Anderson in the offseason, I'd welcome it with open arms. So that's just my thoughts on it.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the Lions are on the right track this year. They're having a pretty good year for Lions standards. And I think Lamar in Detroit would be absolutely bananas. I think the Lions they've done a great job building that offense. Getting JMO back this week or I guess this week technically still. Amon-Ra, the way he's been playing, DJ Chark, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, all these guys that they have. I think if you add a guy like Lamar, completely changes the game for the Lions. Um, I think that immediately makes them a way better team. I think they're playoff contenders at that point, in my opinion. I think they're having a good year this year with Jared Goff, but I think getting Lamar, it just changed the dynamic of the team completely. And just like you said, the defense still needs some work, but I don't know. I think they're heading in the right direction right now. This is the first time in a while I think that I've said the Lions are going in a good direction, and there's some hope there for Lions fans. So I think, yeah, there's not much to say on it besides the rumors, but I think Lamar to Detroit would be insane for Detroit sports fans and for the team too.
Yeah, and once again, that's still a long shot. I mean, with Lamar, I think the Lions are probably top 3 offense in the league. We're already a top 8 offense this year with Jared Goff, who's probably an average quarterback. Um, and man, if you just factor in Lamar, it's dangerous hours in Detroit. It's dangerous hours. They just got to improve defensively too. They need to sign some quality free agents, and then invest in the draft. But yeah, that's my Lions talk. Let me pull up fantasy football here, because I want to talk about a little bit about that. But Aiden, why don't you go first with your squad?
Okay, what am I doing here? Our fantasy league?
Um, yeah, we can pull up that. Let me. I'm in 2 leagues, so let me pull up both of those.
Yeah, so I can read off my lineup here first. This is our kind of school league, our a bunch of our buddies from school. a 12-man league. So my lineup is I got Tua quarterback, I got Eckler, Mixon, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Godwin, Hayden Hurst, Jamar Chase, Cowboys defense, and Daniel Carlson is my starting lineup in a 12-man league. And my record is 9-3 right now. So yeah, go say I'm pretty proud of my team. I'm not gonna lie about it. Um, I say I had a pretty good draft for the most part. If you could ask Bones about that, I think my draft was pretty good. I made some trades.
Yeah, we got
Bones,
Mr. Finesser over here.
yeah, Bones
Tell
could
tell him
ar-
what you gave up for Jamar Chase.
Bones could argue that that trade wasn't very fair, but I disagree with that. I think the guy accepted the trade, so that's not my issue. But I traded for Jamar Chase last week. I traded Juju Smith-Schuster and Brian Robinson Jr. for Jamar Chase. Yeah, you can come at me if you want, but I didn't force him to accept the trade. It wasn't my thing. I sent it. Didn't really think he was going to accept it, and he did. So yeah, I'm going for it all this year.
True, true. That's some good points. Before I get into my team, before I get into the record, I just want to point out I won the league last year. I made it to the championship the year before. So I've had your success. Everybody has those years, just injuries derail your season.
But yeah, no, I will add that too. It's been a couple down years for me before this year. 2 years in a row that I wasn't proud of, but yeah, go ahead, keep going.
You're back. Yeah, so what one before I get my team here, one more thing I want to say is if Brees Hall was on my team right now, if he never got hurt, it would be dirty too. It would be dirty, but I'm gonna jump into the squad here. I'm 6-6. I'm well in the playoff race still. As of right now, I am sixth out of an 8-man playoff. So still in you never know. Some March Madness miracles. You never know. So my quarterback is Joe Burrow. I actually was able to get Joe Burrow, who's the fourth ring quarterback. Aiden took Trey Lance, so I got Joe Burrow there. I ended up trading Tua to him, so it balanced out. But
Yep.
Joe Burrow, I got Saquon Barkley in the second round, which I thought was a good pick by me. My running back is Jonathan Taylor. Um,
What you traded for? Let's say that you didn't have the first overall pick.
yeah. So to start from the beginning, it would start off with Brees Hall towards ACL. I needed another running back, so one of a person in our league, Mateo, good friend of ours. He had Jonathan Taylor on the bench. That was when he was struggling. Still, that's before like the Jeff Saturday stuff. Um, So, because he had Damian Pierce and Josh Jacobs starting, so he's like, he doesn't need them. So I traded CeeDee Lamb, um, and Benjamin for Jonathan Taylor, which I thought it was a fair trade for both sides. He needed a wide receiver, I needed a running back. So, um, that was a good trade. He's been doing a lot better too as of late.
Yep, that
Um,
is true.
Wide receivers are DeAndre Hopkins, Gabe Davis, and DJ Moore. Um, Hopkins is just my anchor. As I stated before, I had CeeDee Lamb as my top wide receiver before that. And
Who actually drafted CeeDee Lamb too? I'll put that out there.
yeah, because of the Brees Hall breakout, I was able to trade Joe Mixon for CeeDee Lamb just because I needed that top receiver because my duo of Moore and Davis wasn't getting it done. As it turns out, Baker Mayfield can't throw a football this year, so DJ Moore has plummeted down the receiver rankings because of that. But whenever he has PJ Walker, Sam Darnold throwing it to him, he's having 20-point games. So the upside was always there. But yeah, Gabe Davis hit or miss. Tight end is Dalton Schultz. He's old reliable. He'll give me some points. He had 5 points this week, but he had 19 the week before, and he's just been pretty solid all year. But yeah, that's the 6-6 squad.
I will
I
give
do
you
want
credit for this team. This is a very good team on paper. I think you've been unlucky with some of these guys. Say Gabe Davis and DJ Moore and some of these guys. I mean, you just got Hopkins back, who's been really good. But yeah, I'll agree with you. I think your team has gotten unlucky. Brees Hall goes down. Yeah, so yeah, I'll give you that.
And then I got my squadron of waiver wire running backs: Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Devin Singletary, Cam Akers, and Zonovan Knight just on my bench. I thought there was another week of the trade deadline, but apparently I was mistaken. I was adding all these guys. I was trading. I was like, all right, I'm setting up. I'm about to go insane. And then the trade deadline passed. And I thought it was the week next. And I was so mad. Because I was planning on trading some of these guys for another receiver, but it's all right. I still think we can make a run. We'll see where the season ends.
Yeah, and let us know too in the comments whose team is better. I think we all should say my team, but you never know. I am the favorite to win the league right now. I'll say that as well. Um,
He is the favorite.
First in the league, 9-3. I'm very proud of my team. So I am being a little bit cocky right now, but I have had some down years, some bad drafts,
Yeah,
and
talk your talk.
I've had some bad years. I've had some bad years. But we're up right now, and I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna ride the wave.
For sure, for sure. That's all I got though for the episode. You got anything else you want to add in?
I'll say my drafted team first because I had a pretty good draft. Like
Okay.
you could say that too. I had a pretty good draft.
Yeah,
I
I can.
drafted.
I can
Well,
fill
go
out.
ahead. What?
I said I'll pull up mine too. You go first.
Yeah, so I drafted Trey Lance as my quarterback, which obviously didn't pan out for me very well. I drafted Eckler third overall, which he's been an absolute stud this year. Steal for me at pick 3. Um, my RB2 was who was it? Javonte Williams,
Yeah, it
and
was. And then you got
I
unlucky
was
there too.
yeah he also went down with injury, who was unfortunate for me. I drafted CeeDee Lamb as my wide receiver 1, which I wasn't too happy with at the start of the year. I'll be honest with that, but he's been very, very good this year, and I'm glad Mateo has him because he's doing very well. Mateo's a big Cowboys fan, so and I also drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown as my wide receiver 2, which I will say was a very good draft pick by me. There were some guys on the board like DJ Moore. I forget who else, but I picked Amon-Ra, and yeah, you guys know what he's been doing this year. My tight end was Darren Waller, who hasn't done anything this year. So, but I also traded him. He was in my trade for Juju, which I'll go over in a sec. My flex was Adam Thielen, I think, after the draft, who I traded to you for. Who did I trade him for? Tua, right? Tua.
Adam Thielen, yeah.
Yeah, because you had Joe Burrow, so you didn't need Tua. And yeah, Daniel Carlson is my kicker. So yeah, I think you guys can all agree. Pretty good draft by me.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll here. I cannot find this team at all. Um
I
Hold
think
up.
who was you drafted Burrow, right? It was your quarterback.
Drafted Burrow.
You
The
drafted
running backs
Saquon and Mixon.
were Mixon, Saquon, and Brees
Hmm.
Hall. My wide
Very good.
receivers were
Very.
more. It was DJ Moore and Gabe Davis. No, I had Gabe Davis on the bench.
Who was your other
I
wide
had Allen
receiver?
Robinson.
Oh, that's
That's
who
my
it
wide
was.
receiver too. Oh my
Wow.
God. I was so high on Allen Robinson. Oof, that was a miss by
Wow.
me. I
So
missed.
was I though.
Um, but yeah, that was a team. I
And
think that's
you got D Hop too, which is very smart
D
pickup
Hop on
by
the
you.
bench.
Yeah.
If that team had no injuries,
Very
and
good team.
that would have been a really good team. Because then I would have
Yep.
been able to play D Hop and DJ Moore. DJ Moore would have been the weakest link, but it's all right. As we're here, I'm trying to pull up that championship squad from last year. I can't.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta start taking some screenshots of the teams. I can't find it. All I know is I picked up Jalen Waddle on the waiver wire going to the playoffs, and then he exploded. So that
Hey,
was
how I was gonna ask you that the other day. How far let me look at your dad's team here. Pretty sure Waddle was drafted so late in our draft. I don't know how.
yeah.
67th.
That's
That was
actually kind of funny.
insane. I don't know how that even happened. I don't remember.
I know. Yeah, I can't find the championship squad.
That's it for me though. I think
Yeah, that's it for me. Had a lot
good
of
pod.
fun. What?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm saying I had a lot of fun today. Um, Probably try to do some college football like bowl predictions or stuff like that for the top bowls. Um, Maybe some more NFL draft stuff maybe coming up.
Hmm.
Some more players announcing their decisions to declare.
I,
NFL
I think I just got before we end here. I just got a notification actually on my phone. The Heisman Trophy finalists just got announced.
Really? Breaking
Yeah.
news.
Oh
Breaking
yeah.
news for the pod. Let's hear it.
Stenson Stenson Bennett. Um,
Stetson Bennett. Wow, wow.
USC's Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
TCU's Max Duggan.
Max Duggan. All right, all right.
And Ohio State's CJ Stroud were announced Monday as the Heisman Trophy finalists.
Ooh, ooh, Blake Corum. Oh, sleeper. All right.
if
So we know why he's not there. He's hurt, but
Yeah,
that kind of makes it all the more worse. If he didn't get hurt, if he plays those last two games, if he ends up rushing for 250 and two touchdowns on Ohio State, he's winning the Heisman. He's
yeah.
winning the Heisman, which is pretty unfortunate. Um, I mean, there's no clear-cut winner of the Heisman this year.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I think Caleb Williams still has the edge for me if
I
I'm
think
voting.
I think it would probably be Caleb Williams. It was his
I
to
just
lose until he lost
Yeah.
47-23. Um,
I would not love to see that go to Stenson Bennett. I know he's played well and
yeah,
Georgia's really good, but he's
he's a
25,
product of
man.
his team. It's not his
Yeah.
individual performance. He's
And
not the best player.
he's also 25 too,
Yeah.
which
Um,
you can say what you want about that, but it does mean something.
yeah, I'd say I'd probably give it to Caleb still.
Yeah.
I'd probably still say Caleb. He's the best player in college football, hands down. But that kind of wraps it up for us. So a little breaking news there at the end. Some excitement. That's just our instant reaction, live reaction to the Heisman rankings or Heisman finalists. Caleb Williams for both of us. But see you in the next episode.
Yeah.